Coming up from Stafford County over on 270, a good ride down from Rockville to the split at the Beltway. That's a current look at your Fox 5 on-time traffic.
All right, Jeff, thank you very much. Well, you know, the new year is just around the corner, and so this morning we're learning what to expect when it comes down to tax changes for 2013, and that's where personal finance expert Jennifer Streaks, that's where she comes into the picture. She joins us now live here in studio. She's here to help us figure out how much more we'll have to pay starting January 1st. Good morning to you, and thank you very much for coming in and talking with us. We appreciate that. All right, now let's start off with one of the big things. There are a couple of things that are huge that everybody or a lot of people are going to see. This investment tax.
This investment income tax, it's a 3.8% tax for married filers filing jointly. $250,000 is your threshold income amount. And for single people, it's $200,000. So in the D.C. area, that has potential to make a huge impact. Quick example, if I make $200,000 a year and I bring in $24,000 in rental income, I now pay an extra 3.8% surtax on that $24,000, although I've already paid income tax on my entire income. So this is an extra charge.
Wow.
Yeah, definitely. So that's going to have a little bit of a sting.
Okay. All right. And we're also talking about medical bills tax.
Medical bills tax right now, this hits me where I live, Wisdom, because I'm always telling individuals that by the end of the year, get any medical procedures that you need to have taken care of, go ahead and get that done. Because if it takes up 7.5% of your total income, you can deduct that on your tax return.
Okay.
Not anymore. Now you have to move it down a little bit further because it's 10% now.
Oh, wow.
So so it's from 7.5 to 10%. So you're going to feel that 2.5%.
Okay. And also there's a lot of people use flexible spending accounts. You used to be able to put whatever you wanted in there.
Pre-tax.
Right. Now
there is a cap of $2,500. Federal limit goes into effect January 1st. So people who use that, they see these medical bills, procedures, contact lenses, glasses coming down the pike. You have a $2,500 cap, which is not a lot when you think about medical expenses.
Right. And one more thing we're going to talk about is the manufacturers who make some of these things. They'll be getting some taxes. Hit with some taxes as well, and and they probably will pass that on to the consumer.
They're going to pass that on to the consumer. It's a 2.3% tax that's only supposed to go to medical manufacturers, but pacemakers, the IV in the hospital, the monitoring equipment, all of that, they're going to pass that on to your medical bill. Obviously, they have to recoup it somehow, and these go into effect January 1.
Is there anything that if this affects anyone? Is there anything that you can do at this point? I mean, this late in the game.
Yeah, this late in the game. It's kind of late. You need to think about how you are structuring your investment income. If you are getting money from estates or trusts or anything like that, you need to disperse that income if you don't have it sit, because that's when you're going to start to incur the surtax. In terms of your medical bills, the cap is in effect is $2,500. The manufacturers are going to get hit with this medical device tax. And, you know, hey, your high medical bills is now 10% of your income instead of 7.5%. Is there
at any point, you know, during all this, should you go into and make some changes to what you have structured, you know, for people to take out in your taxes? Should you do that right now?
You should do that now. I mean, your taxes aren't due until April. Definitely go in, sit down with a tax preparer. I always recommend that individuals get a tax preparer on board and see what you can do so that you don't take the brunt of this.
Right. Anything else at all that we need to know about changes that'll come at the first of the year, and anything else that we can do about any of it?
Well, right now, if you're just sort of becoming aware, you're probably going to get caught up in the melee, and you might get your, your first paycheck and say, what? But, I definitely just advise sort of take a deep breath. It's going to be okay, and just find out how to restructure some things so that it doesn't hit you as hard.
Right. Now, and then after you get that first paycheck, you can still go in there and make changes at that point?
Oh, definitely.
After the first of the year?
Yeah, you can always go into either the Human Resources office or whoever disperses your check and say, this is how I want to reallocate some things.
And I know last question here. I know a lot of people are worried about how this is going to affect the economy because, this will be coming out of people's pockets.
Right.
Do you think this will have a massive impact or a big impact, medium impact on the economy at this point?
Well, we're still watching that. I mean, anything that affects your ability to spend and how much money you have to spend affects the economy. The bottom line is that the only way the economy is going to get moving again is if people have money to spend in it. So if you're taking money directly out of their paycheck, directly out of their pocket, they have less money to spend.
Wow. Unbelievable. All right. So we'll probably have to put some of this up on our website so people can, if you weren't writing all this down, you can get all this information and go to our myfoxdc.com.
Yes.
Jennifer, thank you very much for coming in and
Thank
talking,
you,
especially
Wisdom.
during a holiday week. We know you have things to do.
Oh,
so.
definitely. But I love Fox.
Well, thank you. We appreciate that. And we love you for coming in and sharing all this information and informing the viewers. So we appreciate that.
Thank you.
All right. Tony, back over to you.
We do require that all of our guests love Fox. It is 7:37. All week long, we've been looking back at some of 2012's biggest moments. Today, we're taking on the political front. 2012 was definitely a nail-biter, from a bruising Republican primary to a